Social development is another aspect of safe tractor operation. How do social influences from parents, from siblings, from peers, impact safe tractor operation? We might divide this into two aspects. One is the influences of parents and other adults. The other is the influence of peers and other children. Let's talk first about how parents influence children's tractor operation. Parents and other adults can influence children in several ways. First, of course, is modeling. There's a long body of research suggesting that we learn from others we respect. We model behavior. So, for example, there's an old study that showed that teenagers, when they drive a car, the best predictor of whether that teenager will wear a seatbelt when he or she gets into the car is whether his or her parents wear a seatbelt. The best predictor by far is whether parents wear a seatbelt. That determines whether the child will wear a seatbelt when they start driving. The same is very likely to be true in tractor operation. If parents wear seatbelts, the kids are likely to wear seatbelts. If parents tie their long hair or long clothing up, the kids are likely to tie their hair and clothing up. If parents wear hearing protection, the kids are likely to wear hearing protection. So parents need to model the safe thing to do. The children are watching. Whether you know it or not, parents and other adults, the children are watching and learning from what you do. Modeling is a very influential aspect of teaching your children. It isn't verbal, it isn't purposeful, but it happens. From early childhood on, the children are learning by watching. And they're learning by watching the people they respect. Their parents, maybe their aunts or uncles, maybe their grandparents. They're learning by the respected individuals. So what kind of rules would you have for tractor operation? Well, they may include things like wearing a seatbelt. They may include things like don't tow implements. Start with just driving a tractor without implements. They may include things like staying off the highway and the road. They may include things like tying up your hair and wearing appropriate clothing and equipment. Those are the sorts of rules that parents should decide what's appropriate for my child, for my child's age, and set and enforce those rules. Children can get overwhelmed by rules and guidelines. You don't want too many of them, but you need to make sure to have rules and guidelines that children know, remember, and follow. A hard part of being a parent is disciplining children. A large body of research actually suggests that the best way to discipline is not negative, but actually is positive, to reward children when they do the right thing. Rewards don't always have to be candy and money. Rewards can be simply a pat on the back and a good job. Rewards can be praise. And frequent reward for positive behavior is likely to encourage children to follow the rules. Now, there are times when children will disobey. There are times when children will not follow the rules, and parents do need to have consequences for that. Consequences might be minor, they might sometimes have to be major, but rules have to be enforced consistently. Parents can't sometimes punish and sometimes say, I'll let that slide. The rules need to be enforced consistently, all the time, so that children learn the rules, remember the rules, and follow the rules. Parents also have to remember that learning doesn't happen quickly. Children are young. It takes time to learn. It takes time to learn to be a safe tractor operator. It takes time to learn safety rules. Parents need to be patient. Give children time to learn, repeat and remind, and don't expect children to do the job adults can do. Children will act more slowly. In fact, that's probably safe to get the job done more slowly at first. Don't expect children to accomplish the same thing adults do until they've become expert at it. So another important aspect of safe tractor operation, of the role of social development in children's operating a tractor safely, is how peers influence the children. By peers, we refer primarily to friends, but it can also refer to cousins, siblings, and other similarly aged children that are on the farm. Children are very susceptible to the influences of peers. Young children look up to older children. Somewhat less popular children look up to the popular children. Children influence other children, and this is especially true in those preteen and teen years. Children like to be popular, like to do what other children are doing. And often peers cause children to take more risks. There's a tendency in childhood to take risks. It's well documented the risks that adolescents take, for example, in drug and alcohol use, in driving their car dangerously, and taking risks in sexual situations. And those risks are also true on the farm, in driving tractors in a dangerous way. And if friends talk to other friends and kind of brag about what they've done, those behaviors are likely to spread. And that spread can be dangerous because risk-taking is a bad idea when you're operating a tractor. There's also modeling that occurs from peers. Children look up to various people. A lot of modeling occurs from parents, but there can also be modeling or copying and mimicking from peers, from older siblings, from younger siblings, from cousins, from friends. Children learn what to do by watching others, and part of that learning is by watching people that are the same age. So if they see a good friend driving a tractor in a dangerous way, they may try that themselves. If they see a friend out on the highway and they're supposed to stay off the roads, they may say, well, if my buddy did it, I could do it also. And that can lead to dangerous consequences.